Okay, so I'm back joined by Lewis McGrillen, who, of course, is back on the 8th of June at PFL Europe in Newcastle. Before we talk about this fight, I want to go back to the last one that you had because I think, for a guy like you that's still so young in his career but gets so much attention, right? Those social media clips I was hearing you say in another interview about how they seem to just blow up randomly at points, right? Someone will repost it and it goes nuts again. Like, that's a lot of attention. And I feel like a lot of people, as fans, as media across the board, felt like we had a lot to learn about you still when you face some adversity in the cage. I'm sure you do in the gym every single day, but under the lights, right? And I think that you responded to that incredibly well after that defeat. But was there anything that you kind of learned about yourself that maybe you didn't know in that? Because you always seem to me like a very down to earth guy that despite you're getting all this attention, you are very focused on just like, well, hey, I'm here for the long haul, not just to make a big deal and then disappear.
I feel like I'm still learning. I feel like I'm gonna show my character in June 8th anyway. That I'm resilient and I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's just, but like for now, I'm just showing that I stepped out of my comfort zone to go other places, just to try it out and see my level everywhere else, and just to conquer some demons of myself and stuff like that. And I feel like, as crap as it is, and how much I don't want to lose to that one particular individual, it's just I always felt like it was always a possibility to lose. Obviously, it's you don't come out unscathed in the fight game. I'm telling you now, unless you're ducking people and not fighting, or not getting the right fights. I feel like it was coming. It's just shite that it was towards that little steadhead. Do you know what I mean? But I'll definitely showcase and show what I'm about June 8th anyway.
What's the support been like since then? Because it's a thing that a lot of MMA fighters have spoken about. That when you're winning, everyone wants to know you and stuff. And like I said, you're in a very different position because there are a lot of people around the world that know who you are because they've seen the knockouts. And I'm sure that during those knockouts, you had people say, "Oh yeah, but who's this guy fighting? Like, wait until he fights this guy. Wait until he fights that guy." Right? It's always going to be that way for somebody that knocks people out in the way that you do. So, what's it been like with the support from the people that are with you, win or loss, since that defeat?
Uh, you know what, mate? I've always been a guy that keeps my circle small, because I know there's a lot of people who want to like lynch off you and try and get in your life. To be fair, there's been your person who's come into my life, and I'm like, how have you even entered in my life? And you're a bit toxic and stuff like that. But that's just a circle of life. End of the day, let them things happen. I feel like it's definitely shown the fact of who was there at my lows, and definitely, and then I know who's there at my highs. But you know what? I got a good amount of support. To be fair, a lot of people still see the future in me. I probably was more hard on myself than anyone. To be fair, a lot of people like you're still young, this and that. But I'm gonna be like I'm insanely competitive, and no one no one likes to lose a fight. I feel like it's the worst thing to lose a fight. More than anything, I could lose a game of FIFA. You can lose a race running. You can lose a footy match. But losing a fight is definitely the worst feeling ever. And I went through that. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I was on my own, but I seen the look in some people's eyes who were rooting for me and who loved me dearly, and how wounded they were when I lost as well, and they were the real ones, and they all know who they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that there's a thing with like, especially people that come through and have a lot of hype that people almost without necessarily knowing you or knowing too much about you will be questioning like, oh, is this guy just all hype? And I feel like if people listen to you for 10 seconds, they can tell that like you're a guy that even if there was no cameras and you weren't getting paid to do this is something you love to do. Like, I don't know if you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you're familiar with this. Do you know King of the Ring up in Manchester where they
Oh,
fight
of
in a
course
back
I do.
garden? I
Of
feel
course
like
I do.
you do that.
I'm good friends with them. This. Do you want me to tell you a mad story?
Yeah, go for it.
In lockdown, I ran an underground fight club. I
Right.
swear to God, right? I'm from Wivenshaw, right? Yeah, and we called this place. We called it the WFC. And in the end, I started doing underground fights to people because a lot of people were beefing each other and stuff like that. And I thought, instead of stop people from stabbing each other or going on a mad one, how about we all sell it for a straightener? And before you know it, loads of people got involved. A few of my mates from other groups of friends started fighting each other. and I started organising underground fights and stuff like that. But then the police got involved and we had to get rid of it. That was a true story. So I'm very familiar with King of the Ring, and as well as street beefs in America. But I'm good friends with Rem Diz and that, and King of the Ring. I come down and always watch some fights. I've had a few lads who I know who have fought on, and a few friends who have fought on King of the Ring, and I've always been cornering him. If you watch a few shows, you'll see me in some of the corners, cornering fights. Yeah.
I mean this with like the most respect for you as a martial artist, but you do not strike me as a guy that came into this looking at the glitz and the glam and being like, oh yeah, that, of course you wanna reach those levels in your career, but you strike me as a guy that if there was no money in it, you would still be getting into back garden rings to have a straightener because you love this,
100%.
right? So a loss,
100%, mate.
a loss is a loss.
I've been fighting since day, mate. Since as young as a little kid, man. I'm from where I'm from, man. We all fight and stuff like. I'm like, I thrive under that stuff. I thrive. I love a straightener. Like you said, I'll be having a straightener in the back garden. I'll have a straightener on the street. I mean, I've always been like that. Like I'll have a straightener. Even like when I've argued with set fighters over Instagram, I go, listen, you can always welcome to come down to the gym and have a straightener with me, and we can just settle it. Do you know what I mean? It's normal to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna fight till I'm probably dead, mate. Honestly, and I'll be fighting in the afterlife. I'll be honest.
I feel like with that in mind, it was not surprising to me at all when this fight got announced. And I completely forgot that there was a background with you guys being matched up to fight before you ended up fighting Wes. But when I saw the post come up when it was announced, and PFL are promoting it as there's bad blood between these guys, it's one of the least surprising things to me. Not necessarily to say that you kind of seek some of these guys out, but you call it as it is. Like you said, you're happy to just go on site if that's what people want to do. And so these characters just seem to gravitate towards you, man. Like I am not surprised at all to see Lewis McGrillen's got a new fight and there's bad blood between them.
Pretty much, mate. I think with this guy, yeah, he wants a slice of the cake in it, and I feel like he seen me lose, yeah, and now he thinks he can suddenly pipe up and want to fight me. Like last time, where was he? Last time he said he wanted more dough, but I don't even know how much he's getting paid for this. I'm pretty sure it's the same amount of dough he got offered last time. And now he wants to fight me. It's a bit coincidental, innit? He's just trying to take me now because he thinks he can beat me. Fair enough to him, don't get me wrong, yeah. He's seen some holes in my game and stuff like that, which is not even there anymore, yeah. And he's just going in for a death wish. And let's be it, I've been chatting to him on Instagram, mate. Honestly, I've been talking to him, mate. He thinks it's all fun and games. But we'll see anyway, June 8th.
Does that bother you that I can't imagine finding fights for you is the easiest thing? So when you have people that go, no, I don't want to fight this guy, like you said, maybe there was a thing there with his contract or something like that, and he wanted more pay. But like you said, if he's potentially on the same money, he doesn't take that fight, and then he sees you lose a very, very close and an incredible fight with Wes, and then goes, hey, you know what, I will take it for that money. Like it's again what I spoke about earlier about people thinking that maybe you're all hype and that they're going, okay, well, maybe this guy actually isn't as good as people say is. Maybe I will take the fight for the same money now, because if Wes can beat him, maybe I can beat him too. Like that must really bother you that people don't want to fight you until suddenly they think they can win, because surely they should think they can win anyway, right?
Because that's it, right? People are all polished, right? And like, oh, don't want to take that risk, don't want to take the risk. And as soon as you see you crack for a second, yeah, you jump all over it. And like, I know what they're doing, mate. Like, oh, it's funny now you suddenly want to fight me because of my fight with Wesley Meyer. Wesley Meyer will smash your fucking head. That's what I think he might. I think he'd beat Mattis, Wesley Meyer. I think he'd beat him. Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking like, you're only taking that fight now because you see me at my low, and you must have seen something. You must have seen me as something else before that. And now that you see me on an L, you look at me different for a split second. Do you know what I mean? I find it funny. The human mind's mental, man. I can't lie, and he's definitely mental.
The last time I spoke to you was before the Wes fight, and we'd spoken about how you were going to try and set up a podcast, and at the time you happened to have it out with Amazon, I think it was, or some delivery company, because they'd messed everything up and like lost all your stuff. Did that ever get resolved?
No, never got resolved. Nothing like that. Tried chasing up, and they just aired me and stuff like that. I ended up putting it on the side, and then obviously then the fight with Wesley Meyer, I had other things to do. I ended up going to Thailand. Then I've like been trying to get a fight. I've just been focusing on training really. So I'll just put that aside and stuff like that. That'll come. That'll definitely come in the future. Right now I've got to focus on fighting in it. You know what I mean? I can talk a bit after my fight well and see what the crack is after it. But right now, yeah, I'm just focusing on my fight. But I love a podcast in the future. Yeah.
I mean, the dedication is paying off. I saw on social media the other day that you got your purple belt, right? So again, we talk about you not being a hype job and you know you're putting in the work. Is clear to see for everyone that is keeping up to date with what you're up to. But I'm sure that was a pretty proud moment to get that. And yeah, you could tell just from the post that you put up that you were pretty happy with that accomplishment, especially ahead of a big fight, right? That's got to be some
Yeah.
good motivation.
Yeah, it's a bit like a reassurance thing, innit? Like, hey, you're
Yeah.
working hard, kid. You know what I mean? There you go. Have some. Actually, put like kind of like cut some slack on yourself. Enjoy something. I can't use. I don't know the words for it, but it's like it's kind of a reassurance thing of like have a pat on the back. Do you know what I mean? But don't get me wrong. I know my level of grappling. End of the day, do you know what I mean? And I just need to show it more. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. When you come reliant on something what you're good at, and that's knocking people out for me, I was using it a little bit much. But I'm an MMA fighter. End of the day, like I've been even if you look at me amateur fight stuff, like I used to grapple people. Yeah, I used to maul people. Like I just need to show it a little bit more. I'm doing all well rounder again, man. It's coming back for me. It's coming back.
Well, I'm excited to see it, mate. I'm sure that there's going to be probably not great odds on a knockout in this one, but who knows? Maybe we see a little bit more of the overall McGrizzler game. I'm excited to see it either way, mate. This card is looking really strong. Anyone who knows when they've watched you fight, literally anywhere in the north of England, knows that people are going to show up and it's going to be nuts. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. So all the best, and we'll catch up with you soon after.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Yeah.
Yeah, you too, man. All right, catch you later. Nice one.
Thank